Now, on this program, we talk a lot about China because it is the obvious threat, not just to Australia and not just militarily, but literally to the Western way of life. To the dominance that freedom has had for a long time, China is its natural enemy. China has found ways to buy off plenty of people inside Western countries. They do it with former politicians, with academia, and with business leaders. So that when a government stands up for Western values, the people who have been bought off by China turn around and say, whoa, we must manage the relationship. Perfect example. In Western Australia, literally, as soon as the international borders will be changing early next year, Mark McGowan's not going to be going to Sydney or Brisbane. Instead, he's going to China. What's he doing? Managing the relationship. But as China seemingly gets stronger, more authoritarian, more clear in its goal for greater global dominance, there's not a day that doesn't go by where we don't hear stories like this. That China has a brand new hypersonic missile, can travel faster than average rockets. They've got plans, not just for now, but for the future. Remember, they focus on the constant movement of the clock. They think in dozens and even hundreds of years, not 3-year political cycles. Whereas here in the Western world, our news is dominated by things like this. Touchless crossing buttons are going to be introduced in Melbourne CBD. And as you may have heard, but it's worth repeating, Melbourne University has decided that a job that will be available to an Australian here is $110,000 to be a gender affirmation advisor. This is a job in 2021. The job, which is advertised on the University of Melbourne's website that we learnt about today via the Daily Mail, well, what is it? A senior advisor in gender affirmation, safer community program. What does it pay? Well, between $108,000 and $116,000 plus 17% superannuation. In the job description, you are to provide support to staff and students wishing to affirm their gender within chosen university context, including assistance with the implementation of the gender affirmation plan. How is this full-time work, let alone $116,000? Another part of the job description is respecting the decision-making and agency of the individual, assist transgender and gender-diverse staff and students and staff, lots of ands, to engage with university and external reporting or complaint processes. Now, let's be clear. Gender fluidity, of course, exists as long as human beings have been alive. That's what happens. But the idea that it is a full-time job to double-check people's pronouns or to walk them through the process of which pronoun should be used on university paperwork, I repeat, how is this a full-time job? All at the same time, when I repeat, China is getting stronger. They've got none of this to worry about there. They are an authoritarian and evil country that I've talked about before, that if you don't believe in the power of the government, like the Uyghurs, 1 million of them are put into slave labour. This is the country that used to tell people they could only have one kid. They have an international space station and they will be hosting their second Olympic Games in 20 years next year when the Winter Olympics come around. And also, it is curious that the University of Melbourne has decided that in the new normal post-pandemic world, this is a priority job because they've cut 450 jobs as a result of the international students mainly not coming from China, meaning they have less money to pay staff, less money to pay for research. This has been described at the time in the Age newspaper as Melbourne University cuts threaten to make us bogans of the Pacific, which, by the way, I think is a compliment. But we understand what they're trying to say. Now, meantime, while this is taking place in our universities, this is what is taking place in our companies. Microsoft recently had one of those videos that staff have to sit there and dutifully watch, tick and flick, do you remember, fill out the questionnaire. But how's this how people present themselves in the company that makes software, where it's not just about pronouns, it's also about talking to people like they are children?
Hello, Hello, everyone. I'm Natalie Gadilla. I'm a Caucasian woman with long blonde hair, and I go by she, her. I'm a product marketing lead here at Microsoft and co-host of the podcast Security Unlocked with this guy.
Yes, that would be me. Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Fillingham. I'm a Caucasian man with glasses and a beard. I go by he, him, and I'm a security evangelist here at Microsoft.
Now, apparently why you hear about not just skin colour, but about their hairstyle and all the rest, that is apparently to assist people who are vision impaired, on top of all of the he, she and all the rest of it. But the tone is so baby-like. I repeat, this is the sort of stuff that Miss Helena used to do in Romper Room.
My name is Allison Wines. I'm a senior program manager in our developer tools division. I'm an Asian and white female with dark brown hair wearing a red sleeveless top.
And I'm Seth Juarez, program manager in the AI platform group. I'm a tall Hispanic male wearing a blue shirt, khaki pants. Today we kick off 2 days of learning more about the latest solutions, exploring how these key innovations can empower you to do great things.
I see Johnny and Tim and Michael and Michelle. Honestly. Literally, it takes more time to tell people who you are rather than just, "G'day, my name's Paul." It's rather self-evident about who and what I might be. But also, why does any of this matter? Isn't it obvious that we should just be focusing on what they're talking about rather than who is the person doing the talking? Oh, there's more where this comes from.
Here to help us navigate that is Vasu Jakal, Corporate Vice President of Microsoft Security. Welcome, Vasu. Thanks for joining us. Please take a seat.
Absolutely. Well, hello, Nick and Natalia. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here with you all here. I'm a woman of Indian descent. I have brown hair, brown eyes, and I'm wearing some killer 5-inch heels.
Sure are.
Oh. Now, of course, these people work for some of the biggest companies in the world. This isn't just the nerds up the back. These are the biggest companies in the world. And this is how everyone stands around and claps like seals when people say what they look like. I repeat, at the same time as China has a space program, at a time when China can continue to pollute the planet unchecked until 2030 and their net zero goal is 2060. Do you see a common theme here? One part of the world is clearly getting weaker, while one part is clearly getting stronger. It's an election issue. You need to make sure that at the upcoming federal election, you see that on the ballot are people who will stand up for Western values, like our current Prime Minister and the government, who, remember, took on China, and all of the people who wanted to manage the relationship, well, they came out of the woodwork. Remember, each-way-Albo believes that the most important thing about our relationship with the United States is climate, not China.